is the best one. I feel like I say that every year, but no, seriously, I think the show is elevated to a real high level, and I think all the storylines that have been percolating since season 1 get resolved in season 3. And yet there's a 4th book, so who knows? We might have a
all right, so this
series.
is it.
Yeah.
It goes on. If people haven't seen it before, bring us up to date. You know, what have they missed in 1 and 2?
OK, no spoilers. If you haven't seen it before, basically, in season 1, a young girl fell off the block of flats, and the whole season 1 was about who did it, how did it happen. And then there was a phone that had some evidence that could help us in the investigation, and that never got found, so that's still unresolved. In season 2, we had like domestic violence cases that were solved, and also it ends with my character, Steve Bradshaw, agreeing to go. And actually, it's representative of like what's going on right now, and playing an undercover cop. It's like you get 2 for 1. You know, I get to play 2 characters, Steve the cop and Steve the undercover guy.
Do you sometimes forget who you're playing?
You know what? Sometimes we get cut. Jimmy, you're sounding like the undercover guy. You're supposed to be the police officer. But I really enjoy like showing my ranges of an actor. Like, you know, the different look of Steve this season with the dreads. You know, he's gay. The way he speaks is different, and it sort of reminds me of when I played like Mick and Rev, and then I was playing Malik and Holby City. And it's sort of, I always like to do the extremes of characters, and whether it's like, you know, Koji and Kate and Koji, or now Jeffrey in Bel Air.
You should try and charge them for 2, you know, get paid twice if you're playing 2 characters. I reckon. What do you think?
Let me speak to my agent now, you know?
When you listen, that is quite a range of very different characters. That range is phenomenal.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, I've always seen myself as a leading actor, but that also loves, like, I don't know, creating iconic characters. And I always talk to my agents, like, let's not get pigeonholed. I started out in comedy. The Crouches was the first job I ever did on the BBC. And then I've sort of been able to do drama as well, and done a lot of stage work as well. So I just want to keep it moving, keep people guessing, and just like keep enjoying the work and stretching myself as an actor.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because for the last few years, we've been hearing everybody saying, oh, TV's dead, TV's over, it's all on our phones and laptops now. And yet, your show is proof that TV drama is thriving.
You know what? I think it's a very exciting time. I think September alone this year is popping. You know, you've got Tower season 3, you've got Bel Air, but also you've got shows like Sherwood that everybody's talking about. You know, you got Trigger Point. I mean, you could go on. And I do remember those days of like when everybody was watching Line of Duty, and like it was like that water cooler moment, or you know, was it shows like Peaky Blinders, where you know you couldn't wait to watch an episode. I think there's some people that are a bit annoyed about the binge sort of culture, but I think there's enough out there now that can serve everybody. It's just that social media can be a bit tricky to not have spoilers.
And do you think those 2 shows in particular that you mentioned, they kind of raised the bar? And since then, everything has to be brilliant to succeed.
Listen, everything, I think, for creatives, if you're going to present something to a channel, it has to be undeniable. And I think when I look at Bel Air, to do a retelling of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, like, the only way it could work is it being a drama, and, like it being, I feel like, black excellence, and really be sort of tapping into it in a cultural way in terms of what the original did, right?
And not copying the original.
No, not copying it. Yeah. And you have to be brave with that. And I think a lot of people didn't want to watch Bel Air thinking that it was a sitcom. It was like, no, this is a drama. But also I think with The Tower, it's the same of like, we got great shows on ITV like Forgotten and stuff like that. But The Tower, it wasn't about copying those shows. It was about how do we stand on our own 2 feet. And with a great cast with Tahira, Emmett, and Gemma, it's just like we're one big family. It's good vibes.
And I guess for British telly, I mean, it's not just British telly anymore, is it? If a show works here on any channel, it then gets sold and streamed all over the world, so it looks fantastic.
Yeah, you're right.
The production values. Yeah.
You're right. Well, BritBox is in the US. It's like a streamer. So a lot of the people that, if you're in the UK right now, you can't watch The Tower, you can watch it at the end of the month on BritBox, and vice versa. I think we're hoping that Bel Air gets picked up by the BBC, so that's a plug here right now.
I was just super proud of it. How many times have you mentioned that?
I know.
You're still travelling backwards and forwards a lot?
I am back and forwards a lot, and I am super proud of Bel Air and The Tower, and just to continue to be working. This is a tough time right now. A lot of people are struggling, not working, and also I don't just act, I produce. I've got a production company called Trifles Productions, and we're on our 5th season of Sorry I Didn't Know, which is a panel show, comedy panel show about Black history. So we're just trying to keep, you know, doing the work, pushing the boundaries and staying employed.
Sounds like you're more than employed. Sounds like you're super, super busy, Jimmy. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Chat.
And episode 2